The new king of sports anime has arrived. Now that Blue Lock has finally aired its last episode for Season 1, I thought this would be a great time to talk about just how insanely good this anime really is. Now before some neckbeards get angry at me for calling it the king of sports anime, shut the fuck up! Calm down. There are the all-time classics like Slam Dunk, Kuroko no Basket, and Hajime no Ippo. Maybe you enjoy more of the modern stuff like Haikyuu, Ping Pong, or my personal favorite, wow, he's so sexy, Free! But without a doubt in my mind, I can personally say Blue Lock is one of, if not the best sports anime I have ever watched, and there's only one reason why. Ooh, pretty colors! Oh wow! Look at them go! This shit is hype as hell! The story itself so far is a pretty simple concept with nothing crazy, but who cares about that lame story stuff anyways? I'm here to see some raw-ass characters make some raw-ass plays. Now am I a smooth-brained small child that smiles every time I see flashing colors and just pure shonen hype? 100%. This show lives and breathes hype and displays what the true meaning of becoming the best player on the field is. A true egoist. From the first episode, I was insanely hooked and couldn't wait to watch more. Every Saturday, I was drooling at my keyboard waiting for the next episode to drop, and every single episode has me goosebumped up from excitement. Every episode felt like 5 minutes long with just how fun this show is, and it never failed to keep me entertained. When I first watched Kuroko a couple years back, it was a dream come true, combining two things I loved, basketball and edgy anime characters with superhuman abilities. It was my favorite sports anime at the time, but I wasn't sold on the genre of knowing that most sports anime doesn't continue this trend of high school athletes being born with my hero quirks. Then released Haikyuu, a more relaxed and tame show with a lot more attention to the characters' personalities and emotions for volleyball and each other. Some people call Haikyuu a baby show or simply don't watch it because it's men playing volleyball, but all I gotta say to you is, you're missing out. Haikyuu is at the top of sports anime when it comes to characters' determination and making you care for the entire team as a whole. But no one cares about those baby-ass shows. We're here for the new king of sports anime. Combining characteristics of what made me fall in love with these two shows and creating this spawn of peak, we get this new Squid Game Battle Royale and a damn Pentagon where kids are playing... Hold on, wait a minute. I live in America and I'm American, so where kids are playing soccer to become a true egoist and one of the best strikers the world has ever seen. We're talking about Blue Lock. It's the year 2018. The Japanese national team has just placed 16th in the World Cup. Of course, that's dog shit. Knowing that they need to change something up, the Japan Football Association hires this demon of a man with a bowl cut, Igo Jinbachi. Now, why do they hire him, you may ask? Igo has this master plan to create the world's greatest striker using a training regimen designed by him. This plan is called Blue Lock, where players will face off through multiple sections, where if they do not pass, they will never be permitted to represent any Japanese team ever again. We start off the story before Blue Lock begins, watching our main character Yoichi Isagi playing the prefectural tournament finals where his team is down 0-1. Isagi's whole time being on the team, he is taught by his coach that to win the game, he has to play as a team. And at the very last moment, instead of taking a shot he knows he can make, he opts to pass it to a teammate for a goal that was much safer. And that's what changes it all. This shitter just misses point blank. Like, how bad can you be at the game? This causes their team to lose, and Isagi is devastated by his choice in the events that has happened. If only he had just egoed the play and took the shot himself. Would they have won? Who gives a fuck? Because after some time passes, Isagi receives a Willy Wonka golden ticket to enter Blue Lock, where him and hundreds of strikers will be put through rigorous training in order to develop into the ultimate striker. You know that hit series with those little pink dudes with shapes on their head? So yeah, take that and replace the dying with being kicked out, and replace the death minigames with a ball. Boom, you get Blue Lock. This show is exciting from the start, with the first game they play taking place as soon as they arrive at the facility. This first season is just the beginning of one of the greatest sports animes to ever come out. It has this unique concept with a fresh take on the sports genre by focusing on becoming the best player on the field no matter what it takes. Every character is fighting for themselves and to devour each other by becoming a true egoist. There is still a sense of teamwork and people you care for other than Isagi that keep that main feeling that you normally get from sports anime. You want to see everyone you care about succeed and continue on, but deep down you know only one will become the true ultimate striker. And it's gonna be this guy, woohoo! Every team introduces new characters with unique designs that always push our characters to their limits and force them to surpass their skill. Early in the story, the characters are introduced to having their own weapons. Now when I say weapons, I don't mean like Isagi whips out an AK-47 and starts dropping dudes. I mean like talents and skills that they naturally possess. These weapons kind of define our characters and what their main role on the field will be. That being because everyone on the field is a fucking striker and trying to score, while Bachira has a whole ass stand standing behind him. What the hell is that? The show has extreme levels of hype, with each episode growing the show into just the most insane level of play from each player. With season 1 finishing, we get introduced to the other half of players that we haven't seen yet. They all just look so sick and have such unique character designs, and I can't wait to see what all their weapons are. Speaking of characters, let's get into our main cast that we have. This show takes a character from every anime and throws them into the world of Blue Lock. We've got Kirito, Kazutora, Ichigo, Kaneki, Bakugo, and we even got motherfucking Connie in here. I can't see a single bad thing about any of the characters, or I'll get flamed by their fandom, but honestly, there's not a single bad character in this show, other than this fucking dude. If you like him, then let's start off talking about him. Himothy. Himi Neutron. Isugi Yoichi. He starts off as a very timid player that knows he's good, but compared to these other monsters, he questions if he can stand a chance. And throughout the series, he just becomes this monster on the field and a player that the others have to keep an eye out for. He's also just obsessed with damn puzzles. This shit happens every episode. When I first saw it happen, I was in awe with the animation and symbolism, just showing how Isugi is reimagining the field and rewriting how to play with his circumstances. While it's still cool to see every time after, I didn't realize he was going to do this every episode, and it was just funny to joke around with me and my boys while watching. At first, I thought Bachira was going to be more of like a crazy, unhinged rival to Isugi, but soon you learn he's kind of like his best friend with the series, and you just had to love him as a character. Kunigami is a cool-ass strong dude, Chigira's weapon reveal is so fucking cool, and the character himself is enjoyable, and then we have the GOAT Nagi that I think everybody loves. From his insane play to his aura being this cool black space looking shit, he's definitely up there for one of my favorite characters in the series. I can't talk about every single character because they're all so raw, but some quick ones are Rin, Isugi's better clone as of right now in the anime, Baro, the king with his insane cuts, and then the fan favorite Gagamaru. Just look at our boy. Every character is so fun to watch and written so well that it keeps you rooting for every single one of them. Each of them get their big moment where they make an insane play, showing off their weapons, and the show really lets each player have their time to shine. Like I said earlier, I can't wait for future seasons when we get a closer look at the new characters we got introduced to and see what each of their weapons are. The studio behind bluelock is 8-Bit, which I guess is this hero of doing tons of isekai, but hey, they killed it animating this show. From the bright colors to making characters come to life from the manga, this show did not let down with how amazing these scenes look. Each player's aura is done so well and really turned this show into the great sports shonen it is. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the old running CGI scenes. This shit had me laughing so hard every time I saw these little ants running across the field. I get that it's not very visibly pleasing and it's obvious CGI, but did I give any fucks? No siree. It was just used for quick transitions down the field and didn't take away from anything from my enjoyment. Now with bluelock becoming so popular after the anime release, even though the show already looks so damn good itself, maybe they will clean these parts up for smoother scene changes, but even if they don't, my ass will still be here sitting watching every episode. And you know what combines with great anime to create a great show? Well, there's a lot of things, but this goddamn sound design goes so hard. I believe sound design is so important in shows and is overlooked a lot. It can really make a scene for me, and bluelock does not miss. Isugi's first shot had me pitching a little bit of a tent with the bass that followed it. The first time we see Chigiri ramp up in speed, we get the sound of a jet plane taking off. Baro also gets this sick ass lightning sound effect as he rips through the field followed by red lightning. The animation and sound design of this show just make it that much better, and it makes this show more than just people passing a ball back and forth. So usually when I'm making one of these videos, I want to talk about dislikes I have with any shows, or just things I think that could have been done better. But hey man, for what this show is, there's really not anything I can say. For me, this show is everything I thought it would be and more. Seeing the trailer before the show ever released, I was expecting a battle royale of players with egos, only playing for themselves, and would you look at that, we got exactly that. If I had to just come up with some things, it would be the CGI thing I mentioned earlier, and maybe some of the choices they made at the end of season 1, with who made it through and who didn't, but I won't be spoiling any of that in this video, so if you know, you know. The last thing I want to talk about is how cool the damn auras are, and a little misconception that I've seen some people have. So of course the auras shown around the characters when they're heating up or using their weapons is always sick to see, and a lot of the characters start with having the plain simple color blue aura, but that is only while they're starting out. Once the player awakens and shows the true potential of themselves and their weapon, their aura goes from the standard color to a new unique color specific to the character. Now with the show being called bluelock and Isugi having dark blue hair and blue eyes, I mean the average person would generally think his aura would be blue. But you would be mistaken. I see tons of people complain about how they changed his original aura from blue into a neon green color once he awakens, but some pretty cool information I obtained from the interwebs was that the manga covers for each volume of bluelock has a specific character. But that's not all. They each have a solid color background, each different from each other. And if you put 2 and 2 together, each volume color background is the awakened aura that the specific character shown will have. So Isugi is volume 1, and his background color is lime green, while Nagi is volume 5 and it's just straight black like his aura. I've also seen some people relate the colors to the kind of emotions that the characters have, and it also of course kind of just matches a lot of the characters' designs. All these characters' hair matches their aura, so Kunigami with orange, Bachira with yellow, and Chigiri with his reddish pink. I personally love this design choice for the covers and how it relates back to the auras that they have in the anime. It's a great touch to the show and gives me that going Super Saiyan type feel. And that's about it for why I think this show is the new peak of sports anime. As sad as I was when the first season ended, it was announced that we will be getting a season 2 and a movie called Episode Nagi, which will be focused on Nagi. So I'm excited to see those, and I really do think this is a perfect anime for beginners that want to get into sports anime and love the hype moments that come from Shonen. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.